It's for the benefit of VESA. So say hello to VESA, everybody. Hello, VESA. Okay, well, it's nice to see you all. So I'm going to talk about this very daunting thing called a business plan. Have any of you come across business plans in any other kind of walk of life before? Okay. So just a quick reminder, that's what the assignment says. It's a simple piece of body, right? So myself, blah, 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 blah. A 1,500-word business plan and pitching document. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I'm not going to talk about, obviously, your project itself. I'm not going to talk about the critical reflective report either. So, what's the matter?
I forgot we had to do reflective. I just remember
when you stand in front of a class, that is really not the reaction you want to see 1 minute into your talk. But anyway, let's long as it's only that. Yeah, so that's what you have to do. It's a good job I reminded you. So there we are. So that's what a business plan looks like. Any of you worked into this classic business plan, business marketing plan, business vision and mission, marketing. So you don't have to do anything like that. So anything you may have heard about business plans, it's not like that. I probably shouldn't have called it a business plan actually, so I apologise if it's kind of raised any kind of horrible sort of spectres of some awful, massive, multi-page technical document with presentation. It's not that. All it is basically this. It's answering this question. How am I going to get the maximum benefit out of all the hard work I've done over the last 6 months, and the journalism that I have produced? Because you're in a slightly unusual situation. I mean, journalists don't often have you may not see it as a kind of fabulous benefit right in the middle of it, but the opportunity to spend a lot of time researching and producing a piece of journalism. You know, when I was working on papers, I was doing stuff on 1 day turnaround, 1 week turnaround, all of that. So you've had an opportunity to spend a lot of time digging into a subject, and you kind of want to get the most out of that. And obviously you're all pretty much at the start of your careers, so how you define benefit might be different from the way that if I was doing a project, for me benefit would probably be how much money can I get out of it. It might be, and that is clearly a factor, but there may be other factors. So, money is one thing. I'm going to put all these slides up so you don't just take down what I say at dictation speed. I'll put the slides up and the rest of them. You can do them, I'm not stopping you. And also, I'll put the tape on Moodle as well, so you can rehear me as many times as you want. So it'll be there. But so money is one thing, obviously. How much can I get paid for this thing? Recognition is another thing. You may want some recognition in a particular audience, or you may want some kind of benefit for your career. So that might mean, can I get a job out of this, or can I get a relationship with a publication whereby they will, come back to me and recommission me. And those things can play against each other to an extent. Put it in a very simplistic example based on the world of national newspapers. A person might do a big investigation into something and say, right, who'll pay me the most for this? Probably the Mail on Sunday. I'll say the Mail on Sunday, they'll pay me whatever. But you might actually think, well, actually, I would sooner that my work was seen by people who read The Guardian, because people who read The Guardian are, perhaps you've done some research into the field of higher education, let's say. Higher education people to read The Guardian because they're that sort of people. I want to be kind of known. So I'll say to The Guardian, they'll pay me a quarter of what the Mail will pay me. It's worth it to me because I will gain some renown within that group. Or you might say, actually, I'll say to the Mail, but I know what the Mail are like. They'll probably never use me again. And The Guardian probably won't because they treat their teams really badly. However, if I sell it to whoever, like The Independent or somebody, I like the commissioning editor there, perhaps they'll offer me a job, a contract, whatever else. So the three things can sometimes be slightly in conflict with each other. So it's worth thinking at this stage the kind of thing, what's important to you? what matters most in terms of things you're investigating. You might be able to get all these things in the ideal world, all these things, but maybe there are compromises. And a way of thinking about this is this. I borrowed this, sort of adapted it really, from a thing they use in the world of documentary film. They actually have a fourth one called a quadragenary audience, which is a word that's unknown to me until I saw this, which is the fourth level of audience. So, different audiences. So the primary audience is the people for whom I produced a specific piece of work. I produced this piece of work for these people who read this publication. Then there's a secondary audience, people who might adapt this piece of work. A tertiary audience, people who might present this work in a different medium. And then there is, follow-ups are potentially a sort of quadragenary audience, I suppose. So there are different audiences and different ways you can potentially use this material.
What do you mean by adapt this piece of work?
I'm going to talk more about that later. This is just a sort of to help kind of understand the structure, but I'll talk about that in some detail later on because it's really important. So, okay, the easy one really is the primary audience, and that's what most of us have in mind most of the time when we're producing any given piece of journalism. Who is this for? So, first question: what am I producing? Might be one of these things or a mixture of these things, so being aware of the type of thing that you are producing. Simple, basic question. Then, who is it for? Who are the people who are likely to want to read this? And there's some basic demographic stuff, Is it men, women, what sort of age, sort of socio-economic group, what kind of things might they do for a living, what is their nationality, and probably a germane question for some of you who are, sort of potentially could write for, an Italian audience or an English audience, a German audience or an English audience, or both. And the question who that audience is will, to some extent, shape how you write your piece. If you're writing about higher education for a bunch of middle-aged academics, you write about it in one way. If you're writing about it for a bunch of students, you might write about it in another way. If you're writing about it for an audience in Britain, you might write about it one way. If you're writing about an audience in Italy, you may write about it in another, etc. So it's all those really basic things about who is the audience that we've thought about all the way through the course when doing journalism. Thinking about that, because that obviously will have a big effect on the kind of thing that you produce, and then how you choose to sell it. Other things might be the interests of those people, the tone and style in which you write it, the tone of voice, the use of language, all those things. So having kind of established in your mind, and you've probably all got a sort of view of that in your minds, it might be a sort of more of a kind of instinctive view rather than a very worked through view, but having a kind of instinctive view and then codifying it can be very helpful. And who serves this market? Who are the publications, broadcasters, websites, whatever else, who reach this market? And you may know, in some cases you may just know that because you know it. But in other cases you have to do some research and find out, well, who is there out there who is available, to this, accessible to this market. And then maybe a list of potential publications, which you can then start thinking about in terms of what can those publishers do.
Do you have any recommendations to because I know lots of publications in Germany obviously, but I don't know as much here, but I'm looking for kind of a particular kind of publication that I would publish in. Where could we look for?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's kind of hard because I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, there's nowhere that sort of sets that out neatly and helpfully for you. What there is, there are directories of, there's one in the library, I don't know what it's called now, they'll tell you if you ask for that. Blacks, I think it's Blacks, possibly, I can't remember. But there is a big reference book which has got every publication in Britain. It's that's huge. And you can kind of go through that, and it will tell you, I'm interested in yachting. It will tell you the subject matter or whatever it might be. So that can help. So there's that.